the Thursday at noon Road Gateway Rotary meeting. I see Ashley has brought her youngest Rotarian. Hello, baby. She's a sweet baby. Welcome to everybody. Thank you, Daniela, for being a greeter. Let's do pledge and four-way. Patty Toronto.
I can go.
All right. Are you ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which
Listening to
ERD.
Hurricane Eric made landfall in southern Mexico this morning. The Category 3 storm at the time with top sustained winds of 120.
Is it true? Two, is it in favor of all 2/3? Four, will be beneficial to all concerned. Lisa still got her.
This
hand on
car.
her.
Inspiration, Tommy Drake. Come on in.
Got this car.
Inspire us.
Before I get to inspire you, if anyone wants lavender, if it's morning, please take some. Hang on, right?
Gotcha.
Confidently in the direction of your dreams, live the life you have imagined. Henry David Thoreau. And one of the reasons I picked this is because we have Najib Ludin, who was our scholarship fellow a couple, 3 years ago in Rotary. And I was the one that was the chair at the time of it and helped him through all of his different schools. Because he was in Europe and then he was in Costa Rica? Yeah, I think so. And then he came to Corvallis. So I got to meet him and talk with him, and we talked a lot because I had to help him with stuff. But he now he barely got out of Afghanistan.
What are we doing
and
here?
He has now completed his studies at Texas A&M. And he has a doctorate in water something or other. And I think I told you about this. Well, I don't know what it is. Malcolm will tell you exactly. Anyway, I just, he's followed his dreams and
You're
even though
kidding
that
me,
meant
right?
leaving his country of origin, probably permanently. And so my hope is that he can continue to follow his dreams. His wife is here with him. They barely squeaked out to Pakistan and then South America and got up here for him to go to Texas A&M. So follow your dreams is important.
Thank you. Do we have any visiting Rotarians today? Say hello. Hello. He's going to make an announcement. We'll introduce you then. Any Rotarians with guests? Okay, so for announcements, anybody have an announcement, just line up over here. And I'm going to make an announcement or just a thank you, just a huge thank you and congratulations to everybody for Porch Fest. Let's give ourselves a hand. It was almost seamless, and the part that I like best about Porch Fest is that almost all of us are involved in doing something. And there are enough jobs and positions that whatever it is that you're good at, you can volunteer and do. And so it was great. And maybe during Happy Bucks, people will share their favorite thing about Porch Fest. We were all also blessed with good weather. So, okay, announcements. Okay, it's time to sign up for July. I'm not kidding. And I know it's going quite fast. So if you're kind of timid, you could be someone that does greeter. If you are not timid, go for it. We have all kinds of things to do, and I'm not leaving it until every one of these is filled in.
If you choose not to fill out the form, there is an escape to that. We are going to start something up that happened 2 months ago, and that is 4 of our members would write a brief file and put it in our weekly report. And then, last time Doug interviewed those 4 people. I'm gonna interview 4 of you, and I would prefer to have volunteers. And it will be at the end of July. So think about it. You can let me know you would be willing to do it. I will ask questions, but I permit you to pose the questions instead of me surprising you. Since, you don't want to be like David Frost and try to go on and be the best interviewer. All right.
2 quick announcements. First of all, there is food back there. I'm gonna keep plugging you. You're gonna hear it over and over and again when you're at the grocery store, pick up some things for kids, bring them with you and just put them on the back table on Thursday, and we will make sure they get to the food bank. They are desperate for more food, and kid-oriented food is the best. And then I also want to remind everybody that this coming Thursday is our thank you party for community. So with Weekend Brewery at 5:30, I've already gotten over 25 people, so that's awesome. So it should be a great party. Yeah, so come, and like I said, you're on your own for food and drinks, but there'll be cake and lots of good company. So see you then.
Hello, Rotarians. Thanks for letting me crash your party here today. So I have a question. Do you not sing? I love you guys. You should come out at 7 o'clock in the morning to hear the tubercular choir sing at our Rotary. It's pretty bad. We'll talk later. Okay, so I think the buzz has gotten around the campfire already. We are postponing First Crush this year. So I'm here to tell you guys that we have bad weather coming in. We decided it's an outdoor event, so we're pushing it into fall. If you've purchased tickets, physical tickets, as Patty has done, come talk to me afterwards. We want to get you reimbursed, okay? Or you can donate. We do take donations, but
Will the tickets carry over to the future event?
Doug, we can make them carry over for you. I think I have that authority.
You have that memory though.
Definitely, I'm over 50, bud. No,
Won't forget it. Won't forget it.
I love you. All right, you guys, thanks again. Thanks for letting me talk.
Just a reminder, I have some cards left if anybody wants them, more than half. You could be a winner today.
I want to add on to Judy's, talk a little bit about Porch Fest. So Porch Fest, we raised probably about $40,000. We don't know until we get all of the funds in and then all of the expenses accounted for. Jan is on vacation, so probably in 2 weeks or so, we'll know what our net was, but it was probably $40,000. And it was, just as you said, incredibly smooth and effortless. And that is a compliment to all of you that were involved. It is the non-squeaky wheel that is running really smoothly. And so I hope you all understand what non-squeaky wheels you are, which means how well you're running. It really is very impressive, Porch Fest. And Daniela, that was just up here selling cards, is going to be taking over next year as project lead. So I send everything to her, please. And then also, Mary Millard is going to take over. I'm not sure what the title will be, but probably administration of the fundraising efforts. Something to that effect. Yes.
Yes, ditto, and I'm going to remind you, which you may or may not know, that $40,000 is huge amount in our small community. And there are other groups that do other kinds of things and, squeak out $10,000. And so we're just especially grateful. Part of that is because we do most of the physical labor. And it really has been tremendous to see, especially the people who are behind the scenes. It's not just on the day of the event, but the people who get the sponsorships, get the logos and post all the stuff. It's really cool to see all that. And yes, Daniela, be ready. We'll be sending all complaints your way.
Right, Greg? Right, Doug? Okay. Okay, thanks, everyone. So our program today is, I think Jim Huber is going to introduce it, and come on up, Jim.
Does everyone have one of these brochures? It's called Eco-Friendly Volunteers Wanted. Everybody got one? John, did you get one? Okay. I'll tell you what, Kelly, if anyone's missing one, make sure they get one. Okay, so just want to let you know, someone suggested we do a program on microplastics. So Kelly reached out, I don't know how she found out about this, but she got, I guess you learned about the Newport Club. The Rotary Club of Newport has a huge project on microplastics. And so they have this CAN program and they sent it to us, and then they need someone such as myself and Kelly to lead the program. So that's what we're going to be doing. There's a couple elements to it. I'm going to read you a little information. We're going to watch a video that they have prepared, the Newport Club, the Rotary Club of Newport. And then ultimately they're asking for our participation, financial and physical, picking up stuff, going up to Newport. And there are other things you can do as well. And I'm adding my own little shit to this thing too. So anyway, again, this is from the Club of Newport. So they've asked me to read you this. And the first is a quotation from Robert Swan, an explorer and environmentalist. He says, the greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it. Pretty good. I hadn't thought of it in those terms. So the Rotary Club of Newport is asking every District 5110 club to get involved. They want everyone to do something. Today's program was produced by the Rotary Club of Newport. They have asked us to participate by watching a short video, which is pretty good. I've seen it. And then break into small groups and discuss 3 questions. Microplastics isn't a coastal problem. It is an everywhere problem. It's been found on Mount Everest and the Mariana Trench. It is in the air we breathe, the waste we drink, and the food we eat, and it's inside you right now. I have heard, I can't corroborate this, but I heard we consume at the rate of the equivalent of a credit card, the amount of plastic in a credit card once a month. I don't know if that's true because it feels like I'd be filled with credit cards by now, but at any rate, it's true. It comes into your system, so it's everywhere. We have 2 choices. We can feel helpless and hope that someday someone invents a robot to clean microplastics off our beaches and leave organic materials behind, or we can begin to feel empowered by doing something. So it's one thing to learn about the hazards of microplastics on our planet. It's another thing to do something about it. So this presentation gives you, us as individuals and as a club, a way to get involved. It also offers our club an opportunity to support their efforts. So clubs that sponsor a one-day beach cleanup will receive an instant thank you email. All what we need, right? More emails. It will contain a photo of smiling volunteers holding a bag of debris removed from a beach in your club's name. So the weight of that bag will be included. So now we get to watch the video. All right. Jay, James, I know you're on Zoom and we're gonna cut off the device, and so you're probably not gonna hear this. You're gonna have to read the captions. That seems to be the only way we've been able to get video. Okay, yeah.
Oregon boasts one of the most magnificent and scenic coastlines in the world. Home to diverse marine wildlife, a variety of birds, and a rich ecosystem, Oregon beaches stretch approximately 362 miles along the beautiful Pacific Ocean. Appreciating this treasured natural wonder is a joy to millions of residents and visitors each year. But there has been a difficult reality that we've also had to face in recent years. Our human presence is leaving a lasting negative impact. Anyone spending time on Oregon beaches has likely noticed a terrible and abundant addition of plastics littering the high tide line. Unlike natural elements, plastics never decompose, but only break down into smaller and smaller pieces. This is what is known as microplastics and microfibers. Unfortunately, microplastics have many negative impacts to wildlife, humans, and ecosystems.
Single-use plastics are a huge problem, and societies are battling it worldwide. The majority of our plastics aren't recyclable. They're lightweight, flying into our waterways and littering our landscapes. Microplastics have been found around the world, in and out of the ocean, from Mount Everest to the Mariana Trench. And sadly, will continue to pollute our Earth for thousands of years.
Not only are microplastics an unsightly litter, they don't decompose. Not ever. Unlike wood products that decompose naturally in the environment, petrochemical companies make microplastics. Those plastics absorb toxins and eventually find their way into living tissue. Marine wildlife often mistake microplastics as food, causing malnourishment, as well as entanglement in their digestive systems. People are impacted by microfibers because they find their way into municipal water systems. What makes microplastic even more of a problem is they are difficult to collect and remove.
Fortunately, there are solutions to this toxic problem, which are now making it easier to filter and eliminate microplastic from our beaches. One solution is made of a microscreen fastened between two handles, which enables two people to quickly filter thousands of pieces of microplastic debris from the sand. In smaller areas, a sieve is used to filter and remove these particles.
It's really eye-opening to unearth the volume of plastics on what appears to be a clean beach. People really enjoy doing this because each scoop creates instant gratification.
Look at all this stuff we've pulled out. We saved a turtle.
The Rotary Club of Newport salutes Surfrider and Solve for leading the cleanup of Oregon beaches for many years. Now we are proud to join their efforts by focusing on the microplastic problem.
Making an impact is what the Rotary Club of Newport's Beach Cleanup Initiative is aiming to do. Explorer and environmentalist Robert Swan said, "The greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it." We all have a part to play in preserving and protecting the environment we live in. The Rotary Club Beach Cleanup Initiative is a great way to contribute to that solution. But we can't do it alone. We're asking everyone to do something. You can help us in 3 important ways.
The first way you can help is with your time. Spend 2 hours on the beach with other volunteers, scooping littered sand onto screens to filter and collect microplastics. You might discover that some friendly competition makes it fun. Volunteering your time is easy. Visit www.rotaryclubofnewport.org/volunteer. Pick a date and sign up. Encourage your friends, neighbors, and member organizations to sign up as well. We will be cleaning beaches every day this summer. The second way you can help is also easy, with your voice. Use social media or your next conversation to spread the word to friends, family, neighbors, co-workers, and other people you know. By doing this, you're helping us to recruit more volunteers for beach cleanup activities. The third way you can help is with your donation. With your $100 donation, you'll sponsor one day of beach cleanup by others. Donating for a beach day cleanup is also easy. Visit www.rotaryclubofnewport.org and select the Donate button. We'll securely process your donation, which will result in a cleaner beach. Join our efforts to preserve this magnificent natural wonder we're fortunate to call home. Volunteer, donate, and encourage everyone to visit us online at www.rotaryclubofnewport.org and click Volunteer to learn more about the Rotary Club of Newport's Beach Cleanup Initiative today. See you on the beach. Oregon boasts one of the most magnificent.
It's a pretty good video. Okay, so this is going to be kind of a little group activity per table, and then we're going to talk about it a little later.
So first of all, Kelly, did everybody get this question? Number one, should our club become a beach cleanup sponsor? If so, at what funding level? $100, $200, I can suppose you can go on forever. And number two, will you share the 5-minute video with at least 10 people on your social media platform? If yes, how many members in your group are willing to do so? I need to give you a little heads up, that little thing, that little piece of paper with information. I checked that link and it's dead. So what you can do is just go to the club, their website and scroll down and you'll see that video immediately. So just go to Rotary Club of Newport, scroll down just a little bit and boom, there it is. So sorry, but that link is no good. I was thinking I should call those guys and tell them. Anyway, and then after the group discussion, I'm gonna ask the entire group a third question. Should our group arrange a beach cleanup road trip to Newport this summer? You know, I love Newport. I've been there in years, and my wife and I decided we like to go to the beach at least once during the summer. I think I'm going out just for the heck of it and gonna volunteer for a couple hours because I like Newport. There's a good place to drink beer too at the road breweries. I'm sure if we're looking for a place to have a party. Sorry.
I just was wondering if, like, we're really doing a good job in Newport. Do we want to go to Newport too, or maybe pick a different beach?
It seems to be a good question. It seems like they're organized, they've got all the equipment like the screens, and you just plug into their system. I don't know, that's a good question though, we can find out. Okay, so before you get into groups, and why don't you just stay where you are? It looks like we've got you're already in small groups. So let's see, a couple instructions. The person whose birthday is closest to January 1st will be your facilitator every quarter. So the person with the birthday close to January 1 just got a job, record. And then secondly, facilitator report. So then you got the question. So please read the questions. I'll signal, I'll just tell you to keep on moving and get them all done. So why don't we get started? Whoever you're sitting with, discuss the two questions, spend, just your first one,
Right.
No, they're different. Dawn assigned it to me. It'll be fine. What the hell? It'll be fine. So. You guys ever go up there? Newport? It's been a while. We've been through there. You've been to the coastal aquarium. Yeah, that's the big aquarium. Yeah. It's one of the best ones I've ever seen. I recall like I recall being very impressed with it. Everything like that. There's a big brewery right here. Oh yeah, that's Newport, right? Isn't it Rodale? Something. Yeah. There's also the market people like Oceanic Center or that's a science center. OSU. Yeah, we were there one time, long time back. There was a friend's daughter was there. I was a student. Intern in a good way. Yeah, towards they were doing the actual research. Yeah, like that. So I think we have been there. Yeah, it's kind of far. I mean, you know, it's not that far. It beach, you know. Yeah, that's tends to be where we go. Yeah, so if you like 2 hours. But Newport's more of a commitment. Yeah, Beverly's sister lives there. Oh yeah, Bandit. Or so in Bandit, so we go visit her frequently. So when we go to the coast, it's tough. It's nothing. We used to stand those dives along highway. They suck. Crescent City, the stuff coming up out of here. They're not cheap. It's been a long time since I've been to them. So it's like, screw it. Here we go. We're gonna. Yeah, we went to Skip the Shore a couple of times. That night, you know, just saying it's one of those times. It was neat. Probably been 20 years since we've been there. Just you're out all day on the beach, and then you got and then you come back and
styrofoam cups and, yeah. I remember Livy and I went once and we started a fire and my. I can't remember my fault. Yeah, I think I put it in the apartment. No, in the microwave. Yeah, I mean, you always.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I think we stayed one time at, it might have been Gold Hill, Gold Beach. But it was a little tiny one right on the coast there somewhere. I think it was really cool. Just like one of the, the highway going right to the middle of everything. 2 blocks out, 2 blocks down, all there was. It might have been Gold Hill. I don't know, but it was really, it was like an old school that they converted. Oh, wow. And a little bit of a strip mall, but I think it also has room like a hotel, restaurant. Yeah, it was, I thought it was fun, but it was just one of those moments. I wouldn't say it's,
And then you like,
you never know, those moments, you never know when they're gonna be great.
we stayed, we went to, Welch, what is it called? It's just south of Bandon, Welch's or something, I don't know, but they went with these friends and they got an Airbnb. It was an old, beautiful farmhouse with a little farmhouse, a little residence they had redone and it was really inexpensive. And every now and then, Airbnb's something like that too.
Oh, yeah.
But every now and then you nail it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move to the second question if you haven't already. Make sure you read that little explanation of what the money will get you too.
Yeah, you know what, we were thinking about like a day or two ago, what we're gonna do. My brother's in town. I think that might have, and we talked about sewage treatment, because Danny's an engineer at Portland and he deals with the water, stormwater runoff. We were talking about rivers and we said, and then the conversation went around, so, rivers have always been over the past 20,000 years, villages have developed around the river because the rivers would take all the ships and all the garbage away. And then it's always stayed that way, and that's why settlements have gone around Vegas, around rivers. And then when we were down in Bolivia, same thing, where it stands this resort, and there's a mouth, there's a cove, and there's a mouth to a river right there, and the river's coming out of the mountains, the leaves. And the beaches are just fucking nice. Because that's exactly what people do, they're jumping fast at the river. And then the river washes that, and so the beaches are just covered. And it's what made me think of is that, we want to, I remember who gave us a program one time about trash. Maybe it wasn't, no, it wasn't hyperpast, but it's trash, worldwide sanitation, cleanup or something like that. And so, maybe we should do things to emphasize trash collection in those places that maybe just pilot. Yeah. And that would probably go a long way, if there was developed trash pickup systems in those countries.
The fundamental basic law of city, it's got a joke, but it's input upstream, output downstream. All right. And then, have you ever heard this guy, Wendell Berry? He said, I'm sorry, the writer. Yeah, he's a smart guy. He said, do unto others downstream as you would have them do unto you upstream. And I always like that, because there's always, I come from Cincinnati and it's the Ohio River, and the Monongahela and the Allegheny form the Ohio River. Pittsburgh.
Brutal poison.
I mean, if you ever saw it, it's not like the road.
Pretty brutal.
Are we talking? So it's just one.
I think I'm getting that one.
That's. I like this.
I just had this vision of us pulling it out and then jumping in on the other side of the beach, you know? Well.
You ready to wrap it up? Okay, so I'm gonna go around from table to table, just to see what the results are. So the first question, should our club sponsors sponsor a beach cleanup? Yes or no, and at what level, $100 or $200? Somebody asked me, is it every year? You know, I didn't get down to that detail, but I think a one-time donation, we can do it every year if we chose, but let's just say it's a one-time donation. So, what do you all say? Yes, oh wow, there's one, how about that table? Yes, how about that table? Yes, and yes.
Donate time rather than money.
Okay.
But, the donation of money is more preserved for, so community activities or students.
Okay.
And, donation of time.
Okay. So what I was thinking, I hadn't really thought about how we'd handle this, but. And Jan's not here, I'm gonna talk to her about it. I thought, why don't you or we just make the check out to her, how it's gonna work, we'll use her and use the foundation and give it to the club. So keep it simple. I think I'm gonna do it personally. I think I'll just write a check with like Newport microplastics, give it to the foundation and put the burden on Jen. Sometimes she's good at that stuff. Okay, then will some members in your group share the 5-minute video online? Yes or no? Anybody said yes? Oh, yay. All right, good, good, good. And don't forget that little link is not good, so you're gonna have to do something else. Okay. Yes, go. Go for it. Here's it.
Okay, you guys, so some people at our table thought this was really impactful and powerful. And they thought it would be better to share this in the video. So I am gonna scan this in. I'm gonna post it on the Road Gateway Rotary Facebook page along with the link. And then you can all share it via social media, or you can grab it off Facebook and email it or whatever you want. Okay.
Thanks, Jane. Hey, any other comments? I mean, I made a cut it off. Anybody else want to chime in? Observations or? And microphone.
So there are a couple of things. I've been giving to Wash to Shore for years, and that's a group out of Bandon. And they give, they collect plastic on the beaches. So retired art teacher out of Portland started years ago, and they create these amazing sculptures out of recycled plastic, and they've been all over the world. They're in the Smithsonian. And every display lists all the things that they collected that they created these incredible works of art. The other thing that we were talking about is there have to be other, I mean, that's one beach community that does. And so much as we'd all love to go on a field trip to Newport, it would be really nice to know what other groups are doing. And I think the Newport one is a Rotary group, but I'd really like to know what other groups are doing this.
I'll reach out to, I can't recall his name, but the gentleman, guy, somebody.
I'm sure something we talked about, we had a couple of ideas. One, we thought, what would be kind of fun to do a club field trip for anybody who was interested up to Newport. And we talked about maybe talking with the Newport Club and seeing if they would host members if we were gonna like make that long drive there and make it a joint like social service club idea where anybody wanted to come, we could go up there and maybe, you know, stay with Newport Rotarians and do a cleanup there. We also talked about ways that we could do a cleanup more locally, to your point of like, if Newport's got a great program and they've already got a lot of volunteers going up there, what about other locations? We talked about maybe doing a Road River cleanup, plastic cleanup, and two ideas. One, I think there is a group, and we have participated in the past, that does an annual Road River cleanup that we could either participate in, or or if we wanted to pick a couple of the spots that do have little bits of beachfront on the Rogue River and do more of a microplastic cleanup, we could do that as well, so.
Thank you.
I would say we kind of followed up with the same idea. We did like the donation. I mean, we think it's really important. Totally. We also like the idea of spreading the idea to people around the state, if that's what Newport's doing. And then how do you bring it to other communities and other beaches and that sort of thing as well? So we thought the same thing, and I'm going to tell you that we are going to do our parkway thing up here in the next couple of months. We have that, and we need to get rolling again. That's something we do, have done in the past. And I also like the idea of the Rogue River, we're talking about doing locally, because, you know, it'd be fun to do this, and I like the idea of joint laborers coming together, things that that's a great idea, but we can also know in our own backyard, there's some areas that really could use, you know, so I like the idea, and it's something moving forward, I like to, you know.
Well, I think the band didn't see some of the artwork there, and it was interesting to me where they had a little placard that said that what they really like, instead of, you know, using the recycled from the beaches plastic, would be if people collected different colors and donated them that way. So you've got a bottle cap that's black or red or green or whatever, to save those up and then donate like a bag of, here's a bunch of red, here's a bunch of black. And so that's a possibility too, to have our own collection saved for your different colored plastics, small plastics, and then somebody goes to them and all the time.
Brenda would like to say something.
Okay,
Yeah, if you could turn in your sheets, you're actually supposed to take some notes, so if you would, hand those in, and then. Go ahead, Brenda.
little idea about what's supposed to get I have for quite a few years wished that they would legalize hemp, which is now legal, because the big thing was that he was supposed to be able to replace almost all plastics with hemp. So, we need to quit having plastic that we have to keep picking up. So I don't know what the decomposition of hemp would do to the coastline, but, I think it'd be a lot better than plastic, and it might be something that maybe somebody who's interested, researching.
Mike, next to your mouth.
Those are good boards. Items required clothing that is made from bamboo. And that's another possibility besides.
Curious about once these microplastics are collected, where do they go? What happens?
Question. On one side of the road. Our singing little friend.
You don't have to repeat that. Don't repeat that.
So, I am guilty of, and this is going on, I hate single-use plastics, but I will tell you right now that last Saturday for Porch Fest, my husband had to purchase 2 cases of single-use plastic water bottles so that we could deliver them to the musicians who, I know as a musician myself, don't use your voice and not lubricate. And when you add heat to it and many other factors, you have to do this. So it's a quandary of how do we get away from that? And I, like I said, I'm guilty of it. And if you looked in that small handout, which Jane is right, the best of the information came in that handout. was it 450 years for those bottles to break down. Okay, so yes, I'm guilty of that.
I want to say thanks to Doug for having the 3 stations, water pump stations at Porch Fest. And so I would think that maybe, like I brought my own water bottle, I would hope musicians would also bring their own water bottle, but maybe we need bigger signs to say, fill your water bottles here, so we don't buy those. But yeah, that was great, Doug.
Yeah, we're gonna do one more, but we'll do 2 more and then just move on.
A quick addition to we did earn $13.25 returning those, napkins. And they are going back into recycling, whatever they do.
No, they get thrown in the garbage.
Have a little bit of good news. So when I took over student government, geez, like 17 years ago, it would have been about 2009. Our number one goal of our group was take back the tap. And we were actively being against plastic water bottles. It's one of the primary things that you see. And so take back the tap was getting the refillable water bottles, encouraging people to use water bottles. And it was about 3 or 4 years later, it was the first year that Nestle saw a decline in the sale of bottled water. So it's working.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, everybody. I will call up Guy, he's the environmental representative from the Newport Club. I'm gonna talk to him about a field visit and hosting us. I think we'll look around for some other programs that we can get involved in. And then I'll just figure out how to handle the donations. Maybe I'll talk to Jean Marie and we can figure that out, but thank you. And I also, I want to add my own little shtick to this thing. Shouldn't ask me to do these, about me entering into it. Anyway, so it doesn't have to be microplastics. You can do a lot to eliminate plastics in your, I know it's almost impossible. Well, not really. But my family and I have done some things. So I just want to share. First of all, this is a wonderful product, Earth Breeze. You can actually, I used to buy it online, but Fred Meyers now sells it. It's for laundry, doing your laundry. In lieu of the big plastic things that we now know will never dissolve. And you get they're little pieces like something. And frankly, look at my clothes. Aren't I clean? Now, I know some of you pay more attention to your hair than I do, but this is a shampoo bar. You can buy these at the farmer's market on River Highway or that little store at 4th and G. And but look, I committed a sin though. I brought it in a plastic bag. But at least I get rid of those horrible bottles of shampoo and conditioner. And they also have shampoo and they have a conditioner bar. Anyway, these are great little bags. You can get them almost anywhere. So in lieu of using plastic bags for your vegetables and fruits that, when you go shopping, these are nice. Sometimes they annoy the checkout people because they can't stand the little thing, but too bad. We got a bunch of these from our daughter for Christmas. I think I got these at Ashland Co-op. This is really cool. This is dental floss. Have you ever seen these? I think it's at Market of Choice. You can find them. So once again, instead of that horrible plastic thing that won't go anywhere, it comes in a little cardboard thing and it's dental floss. So that's a good one. Okay, this is Dr. Bonner's tea tree oil, which believe it or not, is good for washing your face. It kills the bacteria in your eyelashes. And it comes in plastic, but you can take to the farmer's market and they will refill it. So I just look, they weigh it, it's like, whatever ounces. And so while it's single use, it doesn't have to be single use. This thing will last me years. So, little things like that. Instead of Tupperware, I think I bought this stuff and there are other products like it. I think I bought these at Bimart. I think I've seen the Fred Meyer. I'm sure they're everywhere, but instead of plastic Tupperware, there are other things that you can use like this. And finally, reusable shopping bags. And I've got all kinds of sizes. This one I like. This is from the World Wildlife Organization. And so, you don't need to use the plastic bags. You don't need to use all those paper bags either. Bring your own. Okay, that's it for me. So thank you for your participation in your day.
Thank you, Jim Cooper. Another great program, fascinating, and makes you realize all the options that we can do, even a little bit is important. Okay, let's go to sergeants. Jenny Jackson will expect a whole bunch of happy bucks out of you folks.
Judy, I don't think I could ever compare with your ability to fundraise. But I do have a loud voice. And I've been thinking a lot, it's my first time as Sergeant at Arms, and it's always a little bit about history, and today was made easy for me. It was a national holiday, it was the 19th. So I looked up and just to read some of the basic facts behind it and then share a little bit of things I learned about local celebrations. So Juneteenth, officially known as Juneteenth National Independence Day, is a federal holiday in the United States commemorating the end of slavery. Specifically, it marks the day, June 19, 1865, when enslaved African Americans in Galveston, Texas, were informed of their freedom. 2.5 years, of course it went away on me, but it was 2.5 years after the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation. Sorry, I lost my place. There we go. So it's been celebrated since the 1860s. And I was listening to NPR this morning on the radio, and they mentioned that slavery existed in our nation, I believe, for 270 years. And it did take the 2.5 years before that news reached Galveston, Texas. I've actually been to Galveston, it's the only place in Texas I've ever been. So it kind of struck home a little bit because I've been there. So it's beautiful. It's on the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah. It just really kind of blows my mind that it took that long for it to happen and that there's been that much resistance and that we're still having that conversation today. I did not know about Juneteenth until probably the last decade because it's not spoken about in our schools. It's hidden in our history. It's whitewashed, literally. And that's something that's been really heavy on my heart. I'm an overthinker, and so I've been thinking about what to do for today and what to say about today, and it really brought it a little bit more home for me. Just kind of thinking about the reality of that and how it's taken until now. It's the first holiday, the national holiday that's been since Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So it's the next holiday that Joe Biden put it into effect after the George Floyd assault in our past. So it's a dark part of our history. It is something that I'm glad I know about now. And it's just, that's the best way we can share our messages is by sharing those stories. It's something I say in my classroom all the time, I'm an oversharer, because those of you that know me know that, because I believe our stories have power. And if we try to hide them, then they lose that power. So that's my bit on Juneteenth. There was more stuff that I lost, I hit the wrong button. Yes, please. Oh, yeah. I did, I saved that. I took a picture of it on my phone. I saw the email that came out. So thank you for reminding me of that. There's a couple of different things going on. It's a friendly reminder, our third annual Juneteenth celebration is Thursday, June 19th, Riverside Park Pavilion, 4:30 to 6 p.m., 4:30 to 6:30. If you haven't, there's volunteers, we'll have lawn games, food trucks, face painting, a Black vendor marketplace, music, poetry, Black history bingo with prizes, and the enjoyment of being with each other. So there's a few other also local events happening over in Ashland. So if it is something you're interested in knowing more about, I would encourage you to Google it and look into what's available to celebrate. All right, Happy Bucks. I see a taker right over there, Pat. Right, Angela.
I happy birthday for Juneteenth. It was fun last year. They had fun games and stuff. Also, for having the program today, I thought it was really important. Our brains have a teaspoon of plastic in them. Our brains do. Yeah. And also, the other thing was on the mesh bags, they do have them at Fred Meyer, but instead of putting them where the apples are, and everybody, I always take them for the apples. And things that, you know, are fairly clean and won't dirty out the bags. They have them like, it used to be with the potato chips before they rearranged everything, and I don't remember where they are now, but they're as far from the produce as you can get.
Happy bucks all over the place.
Have a happy buck for the Grants Pass Art Museum has the most incredible cactus that you should use. It's incredible. They have a Garda hat from when Franco was the dictator and stuff. That mother had been beaded passion to bed, feathered that. It's mind blowing. Stopped in a couple of times and you can see it all. So I highly recommend it. Thank you.
Happy bucks are that, for the raffle, we, pulled 15 winners for the Porch Fest raffle. And, when they came to pick up their, raffle items, or I talked to them on the phone to send their gift cards out to them, mail them out to them. They didn't care about winning. They just had to rave and rave over how much fun they had at Porch Fest. So it was a lot of fun to call everybody about it.
This is a prop cup. You see this song?
Oh, yeah.
How many of you have given blood? You don't do that. Those of you that have not, it's not much different than a flu shot. Do it. Help somebody save a life. Mike, it's not working.
I have had bucks with work. Porch Fest as well. Excellent, awesome. And my story is why I love to sell raffle tickets. First of all, one of the people that won the raffle called me and said, I sold a winning ticket. And she was so excited. She said, this is an awesome, awesome prize. Zara, it was in your Northwest basket, and that was, you put that together, so my friends, did what my other friends have. And the other thing is, I've met a person was writing up their phone number on the ticket, and it started out 906. I said, 906, are you from UP? That's the Peninsula, Michigan. It's the only place where 906 is. And he said, yeah. And I'm like, well, because it's 906. And come to find out, he was in charge of further registration on the Rotary Flopit that Fritz and I used to work on in the 80s back in Marquette, Michigan. And he and his wife now live here. And so we're going to get together and we're going to come pass these.
No little brother. Nice. Porch Fest story. So I was at yoga or whatever, Club Northwest, and this lady, a yoga teacher, came up to me and talked about how great Porch Fest was this weekend, how they really enjoyed it. Anyway, I'm gonna give $10. Just so impressed by the quality of work that comes out of Rotary clubs, and the two that come to mind are our club and Porch Fest, and then this Newport club, and just that video and the show they put together. It's like high power stuff that you're doing. And has positive impacts on the.
So I've got a number of happy bucks. So first 40 happy bucks for the Porch Fest and money raised, and all of the teams involved and everybody. It's been amazing how grateful, how great you all have been at Porch Fest and how successful it's become because of all of you. So thank you for that. I got a sad buck that I now know that there's bacteria in my eyelashes that I'm.
That feels the crowd for you. What the hell? No, they're not, we're worried about it. I said, I don't, and then I have, some happy bucks because one, the story about itself didn't happen to me. Two, I know that Jerry's gone, Jerry Rollins is gone. Don't let him park the car, okay? The third happy buck is the story. So we're coming out of Pat's house for coffee. We go there, we have coffee, come out in the morning. And we all come out in the cars and park at the front door, and there's a car missing. We all come out. This happens in about 12 seconds, maybe 14 seconds. But it feels like 20 minutes. One of those times where everything freezes, you're super hypersensitive. And where's the car? I don't know. What happened to the car? Somebody still, there's about 5 of us there.
out of the car, it's not a car, and then Beverly says, look, there's a car in the trees out there. Yeah, so we forgot to put the car in park, left it neutral, it slowly rolled away into the trees. And they, yeah, they were quite a bit of damage, so they just had the estimate and fixing it, but I'm glad it didn't have to be. And the other funny thing is when that car hit the tree that stopped it, thankfully there was a tree there to stop it, it took the exhaust pipe, hit the tree, and jammed in the exhaust pipe was a round chunk of oak. We're gonna pull that out so the car could run, so we could drive home. So that's my core example. Yeah, core example of oak tree, right, this car, so glad that didn't happen to me. Yeah.
Have a look, I forgot the story last week, about Father's Day. Margaret was kind enough to say that my kids like me. One of the reasons that I like my kids is that, you know, when they became driving age, we were living in Eugene. You can get anywhere on the bus in 15 or 20 minutes. So neither one of them wanted to drive and, you know, have to pay who's going to pay for your insurance. How we're gonna get you a car and all of that stuff. You go, well, you have to do away from Eugene, I was on there. But I did try to teach one of my daughters how to drive. One lesson, I think this is probably what turned them on to the bus. Besides the fact that their ID cards, their student ID cards, for the bus guys. So we get in the car. I'm telling my daughter, you know, it's really important to change all the mirrors because, you know, everybody's different. It's not, you have to really get all this stuff lined up before you're ready. Make sure that you, before you go anywhere, that you do that. Okay, we're ready. Put the car in reverse, go out of the garage. But I forgot to open the garage door.
My $100 is just off of Jen's comment. Last year, I bought a goat stock lilac bar of shampoo and conditioner from one of the growers markets from Umpqua, and I will tell you, softest hair ever. I will never buy anything else again. It's that. So, pitch for that.
Yeah. I have 5 happy bucks. One, my son is coming home on July 1st, and also I have the rest of the happy bucks. I missed several Rotary sessions, and I want to say it's very nice to be back. I love this organization. And the fact that we do things for the community in an organized way, and it really works. Thanks.
The youth that helped with Porch Fest ticket sales, they were rocking it, absolutely rocking it, and big shout out to Brad and Doug for helping to take these kids over to the weeks. I saw you a number of times with their walking off with some of the girls and selling tickets. And to Doug, there was a young man who just recently graduated from Viola, and Doug just took his kid under his wing, and he's, you know, it's just really neat to see the youngsters helping us out. And thanks to Doug and that for making it.
All right, I'm gonna jump in and close out because we're running out of time, and I wait every time, so I'm built up, but I'm a fast talker. So I have a happy about 27th wedding anniversary, June 13th. RCT commencement ceremony, June 14th. I had to put my best dog ever in the whole entire world down recently. Moby Dick was his name. He earned that middle name entirely on his own. Best dog I've ever had. So that was that's very much my sad book. Happy bucks for having Anna Marie, my beautiful nieces, here back with us, and just really grateful. I hear what you said, Amanda. We just have an amazing club that does amazing things. I say it every week when I leave work. I'm going to hang out with the do-gooders, and I'm very proud of that. Hold on. Okay, when you go up there.
Cards.
Cards are here.
Jim, do it. Oh, wrong. That's Jim. Hey, man.
The 10 of clubs.
Well, thank you yet again, another wonderful inspirational meeting, and thanks everyone. I want to give you a thought for the day. This is from Lily Tomlin, one of my favorite comics. She says, I personally think we developed language because of our deep need to complain. See you all next week.
Doug?
Yeah.
I do. So you bought tickets from,
My wife.
Oh.
That was probably very good.
Yeah, online, you guys were there.
Okay.
You sent out. Yeah, so I'm just trying to. Tickets here. We did. We're gonna have two people. Waiting for people to show.
Yeah, see you Sunday. Yeah, and that somebody will. That's good. Somebody not.
So, we're gonna pick it back up. I think we're looking at October. I think with our board tomorrow. I think with the rest of the board, I guess, you'll put it. Stand up and see if I can get it put back on the calendar in October.
Yeah, good. Well, I hope so.
Me too.
That's a tough one with the weather and then the fire and then whatever.
Yeah, our ticket sales were looking pretty decent, and then the weather came up. I'm like, this is not good event.